Good morning, AO friends. My name is Shelley Merrell, coming to you from soggy Southern California. We've been having crazy weather here, so I know many of you across the country are having to deal with weather issues too. You're not alone. My name is Shelley Merrell. I have a fire protection company in Ventura, California, and we install and maintain all types of fire protection, and we do a lot of government work at our local bases. I've been given some questions. I'm going to give you guys my perspective on what I would do in these particular situations, and hopefully it'll help somebody out there. Now, I hope you're all doing well. Okay, my first question is from Alex Wilkins. Should overtime be optional or mandatory? The background is I have a landscaping business here in Pennsylvania. I am anticipating a really busy year, and sometimes I have a light crew and want to know how to get the most work out of them when I don't quite have enough team. What are ways I can get them to work more hours, and do I have to pay overtime? Well, the first question about overtime is pretty much every state has their overtime laws. Here in California, we have to pay overtime anything over 8 hours, and we have to pay double time anything over 12 hours. And that is despite whether or not they have worked 40 hours in a work week. Many states have a straight 40 hours, like you work your 40 hours, and once you hit 40 hours you go into overtime, and then I forget what the cutoff is for going into double time. But I know here in California it is mandatory. I would highly recommend you look into your state laws and regulations. Every state has like a Department of Labor, their own state Department of Labor, not just federal. And you can get those answers on that website with your Department of Labor. Or if you have a local human resources consultant, I would definitely recommend consulting with them to make sure. But overtime to pay overtime is mandatory. You have to pay overtime. Your state has a law regardless of whatever. So that's the first issue in that. Then the second one is are you asking if you can make your employees work overtime mandatorily? You can. We don't typically require mandatory work, but there are times when we get a backlog or something, we will ask our employees who is available to work this Saturday on this job. And we do give them the option to work it. So it depends on if you have enough work available for them. Ours is optional. Do you have enough work to make it mandatory that they work it? A lot of times just having a team meeting with everybody and explaining the backlog of work and what all is out there is enough to inspire team members to volunteer to work those overtime shifts to get stuff done. Hopefully that helps. So you could possibly come up with some fun incentives for working overtime. I would be careful in establishing a precedence because you don't want them to start counting on that, and then or I wouldn't want them to start counting on that, and unfortunately they do. When employees get used to something happening all the time and then suddenly it doesn't happen, they become almost like disgruntled employees. So I would be careful on the incentives, but you can offer some things to get them to want to work. Again, those meetings, like daily meetings, weekly meetings, I know Sean always recommends the daily meetings, a quick 10-minute meeting to go over what's on the schedule. If anybody has any problems, get it out now, and then everybody everybody's off and running to work. And those typically happen at the same time every single day at an odd time, like 10:57, or 6:58. For some reason, that is a recommendation that's put out to have those daily meetings like that, and you want to make it kind of fun. I remember when JT was recommending you play like fun music before, when everybody's kind of filing in, and making it a positive thing. You don't want people just dragging in to have it, but those are a few of the things I would recommend if I was in that situation. Let's see. The next question is from Kelly Killingsworth. Hi, Kelly. I hope you're drying out up there a little bit. We've got some more wet weather coming this way next week again. I can't wait till that's all over. Question. How do I solve the problem of spreading myself out too thin with projects in the construction world? The background. I'm a federal, state, and local contractor or subcontractor for the construction industry, specifically the dirt world. I have projects coming up as the weather gets better. As of right now, work is slow. I'm not surprised. I'm afraid as I keep bidding projects that I will spread myself way too thin. I will be in a situation very soon where I'm anticipating that I will have an absolute need to hire fast. At the same time, I'm assuming that I will need to fire fast also. My company is small for now. This year is projected to earn a rough gross of $350,000 if I can complete all the projects. I have interviews scheduled starting next week, and as of right now, I'm the only employee. This saying regarding hiring is hire slow, fire fast. So if I was in your situation, I would be starting to groom that employee. You mentioned that you've got interviews starting, which is great. And I would go ahead and get working on that network of people that, whoops, sorry, I don't know what that was. That network of people who could be potential employees. And I would be trying to find that key person that's really going to take a load off of me take a load off of me and get that whole process started. As far as the contracts coming due, you're trying to complete them if you get them all, basically they will have to wait for you, what I'm seeing out in the construction industry is that everybody is busy, and getting anything done right now, there's a waiting period of anywhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks. And because of the pandemic and the special circumstances that we've been in, and the lack of employees out there, and everybody pretty much is in the same boat, it's a little bit easier right now to put those lead times out there and tell them, hey, I'm trying to find employees, or I'm in the middle of hiring, and the lead time on this job, we can start that in 4 weeks and give them a date and then stick to it. That's basically the best way. It's, in my experience, it's close to impossible to not get spread thin. I am often guilty of being spread too thin myself, so I feel like kind of a hypocrite on trying to tell you how to not spread yourself out thin. But because we have a passion for what we do and we want our businesses to succeed, we do tend to spread ourselves thin. Time blocking is a good option where you, on a calendar, you schedule from this time to this time, I'm going to work only on this. From this time to this time, I'm only going to work on this. And you stick to it. Even if that means setting alarms on your phones or a timer, a kitchen timer, something. Those are ways that people help themselves to stay focused and on task and not feel so overwhelmed because they've got 10 million things to do and they can't do them all at the same time. Hopefully that helps. Feel free to reach out anytime. Okay, my next question is from Kimberly Benjamin. What tools and routines can I use to stay ultra focused for my business? The background. I have always been a hard worker, hustle mentality, but now I'm about to begin going all in on one niche, one product. How can I stay focused? What tools or ideas can you share to help me stay very focused on the sales and operations of my new business as I see tremendous potential? Thanks. Kimberly, what I would do in that particular situation is I would have a whiteboard up in my office and set my goals, and combination of the whiteboard, using checklists, your calendar notes, and if you have your goals, it's much easier to then create your checklist, put those things on your calendar, and then just follow. Just follow along with what you want to do for yourself. It's very easy. There's so many distractions out there to get distracted by the shiny object. But for me, it's a matter of just putting my head down, staying focused on what I've written down for myself, where I want to be. And, we sometimes even have to alter that a little bit. It's not unusual to pivot or redirect here and there, maybe like quarterly or every 6 months. You might want to take a look at those goals, make sure you're staying on task and keeping track of that. But those are the things I use to help me stay really focused. I also will often have, I work better if I have something going on in the background, TV or something. So I often have business audible books going, just playing in the background. I don't even necessarily hear it, but it's there and I'm listening, and I'm subconsciously, hopefully, through osmosis or whatever you want to call it, getting that information, that I just use that as a way to help me stay focused. So I hope that helps. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But keeping a whiteboard right in front of you that you see every day has been hugely helpful for a lot of people to stay on task. It's almost like a war room, a tool. Okay, and this is my last question from Lysandra Wilson. Hi, Lysandra. Okay, what things can I do to keep thinking bigger and build a business bigger than just myself and my husband? Background. I have a baking business and specialize in custom cakes and dessert tables. It's mostly me and my husband, and I really want to grow and build something. Would love to know what you did to build what you built, and some things I can do to break through these limited mindset beliefs. Okay, so processes. What I learned is I had a lack of processes and written down instructions, or also known as a SOP, standard operating procedures. I use, for my processes, not only do I have it written down, but I love to have training videos. Training videos made through Loom or Camtasia. Dropbox just added a capture feature where you can record on your screen and camera, or just on screen or just on camera. Like, there's options. But making those training tutorial videos on how I want things done, or the proper way to do them, is really helpful at taking away the questions, because as you start hiring people in, I always got the same questions over and over and over again, and it's really frustrating and a time waster. So I'm including those in my videos. So if you have your processes, say it's baking a, I don't know, baking a vanilla cake. You know, you would go step by step. How do you build? How do you bake that cake? How do you mix it up? What ingredients do you use? You would always have 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, a cup of sugar. I don't know what the, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. But having the step by step procedures in writing and on video is a great way to get those processes pretty much as habits for your future employees, and that way they can be doing exactly what you would be doing, except you're not the one doing it anymore. They're doing it while you're working on your business. And that's just a great way. I was thinking about your question, and what came to mind is like Mrs. Fields or Nothing But Cakes. There's several companies out there who have built their small thing and then taken it and made it into a franchise business and become huge. And the key to those people, even right down to McDonald's, the key to those people are they have their step-by-step processes. This is how we do it. If you have somebody who's not doing it, then they're held accountable for that in some kind of disciplinary action. To I always go back to discipline is a scary word to most people, but it actually comes from the word disciple, which means to teach. So you might have disciplinary actions for people who don't follow those processes, and rewards for those who do follow the processes. And then that would slowly start building that set foundation. That's what I would do. I would also recommend networking as much as possible with the experts in your industry, your field, building that close-knit network of people is always worth its weight in gold. I'm wondering if there's like podcasts and stuff you could possibly be trying to get on and talk about your business and what you do. And also, I know that you do the applying to contests and stuff like that, and that's really awesome. The more exposure you get, the better. So, also, I'm not sure what all you're doing with your social media, but I think that maybe creating content based on how you do this or how you do that, or this is what I did, and presenting it and showing and maybe talking a little bit about it might be a good way to start building that social media presence. And those are just the things that I would do if I was in your shoes. Anyway, that is all of my questions. I don't see any questions on here at all. So I just want to point out, you guys keep asking your questions. We love coming on here and doing our best to share our experiences and help you guys grow. So please keep asking questions. Feel free to reach out anytime. You can send me a message in the Facebook group or DM me. I'm usually on there a few times a day, so I'll probably see it. And anyway, other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful month, and we'll see you next month.